mange, he eats, il mange, nous mangeons, vous mangez, il mange. So we're looking at sentences where we are saying it is, yeah, or it's. And as you know, we can use il est or c'est, which is short for ce and a, yeah, where you get est-ce que, is it that, okay? So we have two different forms of this word. So let's look at some of those. So it's fantastic, il est fantastique, c'est fantastique. For your writing, I would try and use il est a little bit more. The advantage with c'est as a habit to get into with your writing is that the adjective is always masculine. So this will help you if you cannot remember a female adjective. So for example, Paris is beautiful, une ville, la belle Paris. Paris est belle. Paris, comma, it's beautiful. Paris, c'est beau. Yeah, you're never going to have c'est belle. You don't have feminine after c'est. So c'est is a great habit to get into. C'est can be used about a person as well. Yeah, sa femme c'est une actrice. His wife is an actress. So, but the point is, c'est is a neutral thing. So give me some sentences with c'est. C'est parfait. It's perfect. It's sad. C'est triste. It's interesting. C'est intéressant. It's weird. C'est bizarre. Yeah. It's logical. C'est logique. C'est normal. Again, give me some with il. Il est bizarre. Il est logique. Il est intéressant. Il est normal. All the kind of sentences you're going to want in your, I suppose, conversation for giving opinion, but particularly your essays. Qu'est-ce que vous pensez de la santé en France? What do you think of health in France? It's weird that kids eat so much sugar because, whatever. Il est bizarre que les enfants mangent, that will be subjunctive, so not the best one to use. It won't show off it's irregular. So this is what we then need. We need these sentences to construct great essays. So now let's have a look then. Same principle. It is fantastic is the main action happening. It's fantastic is the main action happening. That he is French is the secondary action. So this is going to be subjunctive. So that's the idea behind it. This is what confuses people who are very used to, well, you know, you've kind of taught me that if there's anything shady or not quite sure or not happening yet, that's subjunctive. I get that, you know, j'ai peur qu'il soit, you know, je veux qu'il soit, I'm not sure, je ne suis pas sûr qu'il soit. But the fact is, it's really about this first sentence, this first clause is the definite one, and this is the kind of the secondary one, okay? So let's do some examples. It's fantastic that you have come. Let's use tu. C'est fantastique que tu sois venu. Now that's subjunctive on two levels because it's an emotion and it's also a neutral, you know, sentence. If you said, I think it's fantastic, je pense que c'est fantastique, there's your emotion. It's also a neutral sentence. What is a neutral sentence? Il est or c'est. For the moment. Concentrate on those. So, and there are other variants, obviously. It's weird that Luke is absent. It's weird. No, I think it's weird. There's no emotion there. I mean, I suppose when you say it is weird, it is my feeling. I'm, you know, obviously who somebody finds it weird, you know. But the fact is, for you to remember this, go with the fact that it's a neutral sentence. It's an it is or an it. So it's weird that Luke is absent. C'est bizarre que Luc soit absent. Okay. It's interesting that he's French. C'est intéressant qu'il soit français. Don't be thinking, well, it's interesting in emotion. Who cares? Il est intéressant. Il est intéressant. Que is going to be subjunctive. So in overview then, a nice little tip you want to remember for your essays is to deliberately use a verb which will show off the fact that you know this is subjunctive. For example, the verb to be. Soit or soit for, you know, it or they. Use a past. It's interesting that in modern Britain we have discovered, you know, c'est intéressant que nous ayons découvert. You're showing me, by putting it in a different past, by putting it in the past, by using a subjunctive, you're showing me and the examiner, I'm not marking your work, although by all means email me it, you're showing the examiner that you understand it's subjunctive. If you were to use an a verb, it's interesting that French people speak, whatever. C'est intéressant que les Français parlent. Yes, that's subjunctive, yes, that's correct, but they don't know whether you've just arrived at that by accident, because it's exactly the same form, isn't it? Je parle, que tu parles, qu'il parle, que nous parlions, que vous parliez, qu'il parle. Remember, in your standard ER verb, I hate saying that, a verb subjunctive, everybody's the same as the normal apart from the nous and the vous. So try and use a verb which is going to show off your subjunctive. Let me think. So instead of saying it's interesting that people in Wales speak French, speak Welsh. C'est intéressant que les Gallois parlent. You could say it's interesting that there are two languages in Wales. C'est intéressant qu'il y ait. Instead of il y a, I've made it il y ait, subjunctive of have. Ouais, c'est intéressant qu'il y ait deux langues, enfin, pas d'égal. What else could I say? Writing your essay, I'm sad that what could I go with? A hard verb. I'm sad that children are learning, you know, so they learn, normally would be ils apprennent, hard. Subjunctive would be the same, wouldn't it? Because the subjunctive would be que j'apprenne, que tu apprennes, qu'il apprenne, que nous apprenions, que vous appreniez, qu'ils apprennent. It would sound hard. Okay, so we don't want that one because it would sound the same. So instead of saying it's interesting that, or it's sad that the children are learning, okay, go with a have. You know, it's sad that children have the opportunity to learn. You know, c'est intéressant ou c'est triste que les enfants aient l'occasion d'apprendre, whatever, or c'est intéressant, c'est triste que les enfants anything at all. So for example, I want to say have to, so the verb have to would be doivent. Yeah, but that's the normal. So what you desperately need to do is find a verb which doesn't sound like the normal verb. Anything at all, as long as it physically doesn't sound or look like your subjunctive. Okay? It's great that we're dancing. Okay? C'est fantastique qu'on danse. And as much as I encourage you to use en instead of nous orally at times, one of the arguments for using nous is because the subjunctive is not obvious with an en, with an er verb, with an a verb. We are dancing, normally, on danse. It's fantastic we're dancing, c'est fantastique qu'on danse. Or que l'on danse in more formal French, but we'll worry about that later. That's not going to show you that you've understood the subjunctive. C'est fantastique que nous dansions, or it's fantastic we can dance. C'est fantastique que nous puissions danser. We know how to dance. C'est fantastique que nous sachions danser. So just be sure, if you're using these 4 exams, most of the verbs that you know will be ER-based verbs. And if you're writing about things, nouns in essays, you know, France, the French, cells, mobile phones, biology, anything, you know, animals, you know, recycling, you will be writing about it and them. So you will be writing in very, very, very easy, recognisable forms of a verbs. So the absolute most important thing for you to do when it comes to essays is to use verbs which basically are not ER verbs, or use them in the nous or the vous form. Okay, so it's interesting that we are dancing. C'est intéressant que nous dansions. Fantastic. So I will do a video after this, which will be a conversation-based piece, combining all the tenses this time, including the subjunctive. I strongly recommend you have a look at this, but for those of you that are preparing for exams, I really recommend that you just book up on some great adjectives, okay? And that you look up standard ways of responding to a concept. What do you think of kids using mobile phones? It's worrying, okay? Il est inquiétant, or ça m'inquiète que, there's an emotion. Les enfants utilisent, oh dear, that doesn't sound like, you know, a good idea, because ils utilisent sounds like the normal verb. So it's worrying that we're using mobile phones more and more. C'est inquiétant que nous utilisions les portables de plus en plus. Okay, so these are the little tricks. Make sure what you've got as your subjunctive, if you've gone to the trouble of learning it, doesn't look like the normal verb for exams. Speaking wise, I'm more than happy. Obviously, go for it, yeah? And it's a comfortable way of you not being scared of speaking. And as I said, if you are foreign and you do not use the subjunctive, they will more than understand you, of course, okay? So, any questions, logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com, or by all means write underneath. So, you have listened, vous avez écouté. It's fantastic that you've listened. C'est chouette, c'est fantastique que vous ayez écouté, que vous m'ayez écouté, you have listened to me, okay? I'm happy that you are interested. Je suis content que vous soyez intéressé ou que ça vous intéresse, okay? And I will see you next time. Well done.